What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Ray P, and we are back for another episode of We Got Y'all with me, of course, Ray P, and my amazing five times co-host,
Woo!
Road Dog Kyron, aka K Rich. What's going on?
Ray P. Pleasure as always, man. I appreciate, you know what? It's random. Um, I was thinking about like, man, I don't know how my nickname, people call me Rich.
Hmm.
K Rich. It's been just changed over the years. But I also use Kyron. Like I felt like it's going to the route where not enough people say Kyron.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I need to bring it back in some form. So I appreciate you using the government on here.
Yeah,
But
I
as
had to
always,
because for real, I only call you Kyron, except for
yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't call me. Yeah, except for when we record. Like you never call me Rich, and a lot of people don't. Like a
Mhm.
lot of people that I've known for a long time don't. But it's just this. It's easy to say. Text
For
messages wise, people are like, "Hey, Rich." Like I don't know. But either
exactly.
way, that's neither here nor there. It is great to be here with you. Um, it's great for everybody out there to be here with y'all as well. We appreciate you tuning in. I've said it before. We don't talk about these episodes, but this is one where I texted you, Rachel, so I'm looking forward to having this conversation.
For sure. And if
Looking
you
forward
didn't
to it.
know, we are talking about Max's rap shit.
Mm-hmm. Max
Episode
is
5, Dead End. And I'm
yeah.
ready.
We're on season 2. We're right at the halfway point. Quick synopsis for this episode. This is going to be Rich's version, Kyron's version of the synopsis. Shawna and Mia are in LA
Yeah.
along with Chasity as she is trying to step her game up with some newfound money from a previous trip in Oakland. Francois is making some moves here and there, making some things shake up for the ladies and trying to keep Chastity out of it. There's a big billboard party where a lot of things unfold, and Lord AK and Shawna have a reunion, but things don't necessarily go as envisioned. Another episode of Rap Shit, Dead End. Let's get into it. Before we do, just want to give some love to the cast. This episode was directed by Amy Ananobi. She
Mhm.
directed a lot of episodes of Insecure and did some work on there. It's written by Chris Sanford, Issa Rae, and Elise Jop, and it stars Ada Osman, Chameleon, and Jonica Booth. Also, want to give a shout out to Jabuki. I think Jabuki Young Smith. I think that's his last name. He plays Francois. We don't like Francois, and I think a big part of that is the way that Jabuki is portraying him. You know, I'm not that familiar with Jabuki. I'm familiar with him from the Daily Show,
Yeah.
when Trevor Noah was hosting, but he was funny on there, and he's been killing this role because he was doing some shit this episode where I was just like, man, I'll slap the shit out you, bro.
You know somebody is bodying their role where you actively don't like them. Like
Yeah,
now in real life. Now I've decided that you have a punchable face and I want to do it.
yeah, yeah, and he knows that because he's leaning right into that with some of the
Yeah.
things, especially in this episode, specifically the scene with him and Chastity.
Hmm.
When they having that conversation, it's just one of those, oh my goodness, bro, you just unlocked a new level of fuckery.
For sure.
But great performance by him. And I guess this is important to say, not only just giving a spoiler alert before we get into things, but I guess we should give a trigger warning
Hmm.
because there is, self harm and other things that take place in this episode. So if that is something that will upset you or put you in a certain space, by all means, please pause or just move on to the next episode because we will be discussing that. And Rachel and myself, we obviously take that very seriously. We're going to make sure we have that conversation with some passion and care, even though it was just one of those wow. I didn't see that coming or anything of that nature, but we'll talk about it as we get into it. But being a character and mental health played a big role in this episode. Um, Everybody talks about Hollywood and how fake it is. It's
For
just this
sure.
land of illusions. And this episode really did a good job of painting everybody from the viewpoint of nobody's really being authentic. We're not really being ourselves. We're trying to be this person in order to make the next step in life. Uh,
Yeah.
we talked about social media being a big character in this show. Social media is a big part of that too. Like just every day waking up and having to lock into this person that I am online because
Mhm.
you're never one thing all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
One day I'm funny, one day I might go, a week without posting. Whatever the case is, it's just not natural. So everybody's kind of tapping into that, and its episode did a good job of showing like what this can have and how this can have an effect on your mental health and just your day-to-day life. Like, John, keep up with this bullshit, keep up appearances. I don't know. It ain't worth it. But what were your overall thoughts and opening thoughts on the episode, Rachel?
Opening, I loved this episode. Um,
Mm-hmm.
not better than episode 4 for me, but
Okay.
um it was a really, really strong episode, and it was a strong follow-up to what we see. What I love about this season is how well it's paced for what we get. You know what I'm saying? So I am
Absolutely.
excited, even though this wasn't like I don't think the climactic episode, um, us falling into that rising action, it's paced really, really, really well. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what we're building up to, because again, this episode had a lot of shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we see all of our characters in a little bit of a different light. You know what I'm saying? So
For
for
sure.
instance, Mia, she's juggling the niggas, as to which relatable content I can appreciate. However, we see that maybe she's a little uncomfortable, and I spoke to it maybe episode 3, like there is a little or a small level of insecurity there, or maybe not even insecurity, but we see that some of this is an act. Some of this is Miyaki and not Mia. You know what I'm saying? We see Shawna navigating, speaking with Tunji.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not the Shauna that we've seen broadcast her product or her rap. You know what I'm saying? We've not seen her be Shauna X, you know? So
Yeah.
that was interesting to see. And then juxtapose that against she and Laura AK and their get together, dare I say.
Yeah.
You know? This for me is the first time, and we see glimpses of it, but the first time we really see Duke struggling in her role as manager, you know, or
Yeah.
struggling with Francois. And we spoke about it last week. He's a fuck boy, you know, he's an asshole. We know that he's actively trying to push Duke out, but this is her truly recognizing, like, oh, I have to step up. Even though I thought I did, I have to step up
Mm-hmm.
a bit more, even if that means going outside of my normal means of doing business, my normal means of communication, stepping outside of my true quote unquote personality to do this, because I don't have the connects that this nigga has. I think it's the first time she's truly felt maybe inferior, quote unquote, to him or out of place.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very well said.
Hmm.
It was funny. You kind of piggybacked on what I was saying about people being a character because we also, I guess, on the flip of that, we had moments where we were able to pay attention to who they were comfortable and themselves around.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
everybody had that. Mine is Francois because he's just a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the Chastity situation is very interesting because all of these, I was going to say the music, the entertainment industry is very well um, gate kept, I guess
Hmm.
might be the correct term. There's a lot of gatekeepers in those industries, and it's really hard to break through. And it's a very small community, and
Yeah.
everybody in the community wants to stay there. It's like this odd thing. It's this
Mhm.
little cult, whatever you want to call it. But once you're in that certain tax bracket, it can be with money. You just
Mhm.
want to stay where you are, and you build this little bubble of a world around that because you live a life that only a few other people understand.
For
You get
sure.
what I'm saying? Like that's why you don't see celebrities hanging out with quote unquote regular people because I can't walk the streets on some normal shit. I can't go to the mall. I can't stop at Burger King, which don't eat Burger King, y'all. But either way, I can't do this normal everyday shit. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna get with other people who can relate and move the way I move and have the same
Sure.
money I have to do what we need to do, all that shit. You were gonna say something.
Um, I forgot. It'll come back to me. Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
But her looking around that room and Francois working the room. People know who he is. It's one thing to be in there, and it's another thing for somebody to come to you and say,
Mhm.
what's up?
Yeah.
I don't
It
care
just
what you're doing and what exactly. I ain't got to go around. I wonder if he remember me. Nah, nigga, I'm that nigga. You know who I am.
they
I
know
put
who
in
I
my
am.
work.
Yep. And I was gonna say it just came back. The one thing that Francois said that was absolutely correct, what he said to Mia and Shauna, who speaks for you matters, because
Bar.
again, relationships are so important. And not only do Mia and Shauna not have those relationships, Duke don't have those relationships. The only quote unquote in that she might have had was Guap Dad. And we know that she can't approach them the same way. They don't know, but she knows.
Mhm.
So it's
Right.
a funny little thing. And yeah, they were mixing in Miami and they were able to get a section at regulars only, but they don't have the the clout in LA that Duke and the girls need, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very,
And
because she on the island.
as much shit as I give Francois, um, all of this really personality based. For the most part, when he comes to his job, he takes care of business and he plays the game. And I think that's the biggest thing. Lord AK mentioned it, man. Don't sell too much of yourself. You might not be able to get it back. There's a game that has to be played. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of dope artists, speaking of like Andre 2000,
Hmm.
who just dropped a flute album, and he had a really good interview with GQ. But you can just tell from his tone and the way he's talked, like this level of fame and all of this isn't normal. And I don't feel like playing the game anymore. I don't want to do that shit. And if you're not willing to do it, you're not going to have a career. And that's the trade off. And Shauna's going to find herself in that position real soon
For
because
sure.
Raina made the point to her. Like, Raina called her on her shit for real. If you don't like it so much, why you up on stage shaking your ass next to me?
Yeah.
You have a choice. And that's a very interesting thing because there is a trade off. Well, maybe now I want to get your opinion on this. When we were coming up, and I hate to sound like that old Nick on the line, but back in our day, but legit, when we were coming up, that '90s music, that '90s R&B that we always talk about and love,
Hmm.
it was so flooded with good music because of the gatekeepers, as I mentioned earlier. You
Hmm.
had to go to you had to have a demo tape, you had to meet people. You couldn't just be on YouTube and upload your shit. You couldn't just be on SoundCloud and upload each other. You had to know somebody that knew somebody that can get you in the door, that can get your tape to somebody. And
Hmm.
usually all the good shit filtered through. Where now we're so saturated, you don't have the same effect. Shauna and Mia in 2023 have the power. As we know, they got this far because of this, of controlling their own shit and just
Hmm.
putting it out their way and just making their own fan base to the point where people are just gonna come to them.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you have somebody like Francois who sees who has a relationship and also say, hey, I can accelerate this thing for y'all and really get y'all in these doors.
Hmm.
I saw people online talking about, man, when they gonna figure out they don't need Francois. And I thought about that for a second. I'm like, you know what? You really don't in 2023, but at the same time, you really do.
Yeah.
Because you just another all this shit is a wave, it's a fad. It's a who can get the best single out. Because once somebody else, Glorilla had her moment, Sexy Red came. And
Yeah.
now I'm not saying Glorilla's going anywhere, but she's now taking over that spot where everything's on the radio's her and all that. It's just that's how this industry works. So you gotta be on top of it.
Yeah. So I think that Francois was a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
However, I guess up to, and I don't want to give it away until we get into it, there was an end to move around without Francois. Based off of Shauna and Lord AK connecting last episode and even at the top of this episode. I think that there was a way, because he doesn't even know Francois, you know what I'm saying? But he recognized him as a bullshitter
Yeah.
off rip. I think that he and his connections had the power to take Shauna and Mia where they want to go. Now, I think had the girls, and by the girls, I more so mean Shauna, um, had they allowed Duke to truly be the Duke, you know what I'm saying? Allow Chasity to be Chasity, the mover and shaker we've seen her be for 13 episodes early on this season. I think there is more room for them to understand and see that they don't need Francois the way that they think they do. Because in all actuality, yes, they're on these stages. Yes, they're meeting, but they're not performing their own songs. They're not invited to the complex interviews. They're not even saying their names. You're not saying their names at the concert. Not for real, for real. So we're here literally as doo-wop chicks, background dancers for Raina. So no, actually it's not super beneficial because these people, you're saying that we're getting followers and getting recognition, but we're really not, because we're not giving them anything other than these backup bars, other than this ass shake with Raina Rain.
No, you're right. And that would be the thing for me. Like I'm not even getting enough out of this to even continue with the bullshit.
Continue with this, yeah.
And one thing about Francois, he knows how to dangle that carrot in front of them
Mm-hmm.
and get their attention. Oh, I got you a session with Party. I got a meeting with Tunji with at Def Jam and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's cool. I get it. And mind you, we've talked about this before. This is a different generation. These are people in their 20s.
Yeah.
Once you've done more living and just going through more bullshit, peace of mind means everything.
Yeah.
And I say that because everything Francois says, I take with a grain of salt. Like I always feel there's gonna be some bullshit with it. And I'm talking about me myself, like Kyron the person watching as a viewer. Yeah. Not even somebody, if I was in this world, I would really feel that way. Like I don't trust nothing this nigga say. So there does become a point where you're like, you know what? I'm gonna let Duke do her thing, because at least even if she doesn't have those same connections, at least I don't have to worry about, is this gonna be some bullshit when I get here? Do Party even know who I am? All that kind of stuff versus, all right, she gonna keep it a buck with me and make her shit shake. But real quick, he's got her so fucked up that she's not. If she would have just been the Duke in that room and worked it like she know how to work it instead of trying to look people up, she would have been straight.
She would have been straight. She would have been completely fine. What I was gonna say is, the minute you try to withhold feeding me on some let me teach you a lesson type shit, that's it.
Right.
Because now I know that you're a ridiculous ass person. Like all of the other instances leading up to this, like the difference in accommodations, this and the third, I can roll with some of these punches, whatever. But you're talking about, you're gonna bring me to a restaurant and be like, no, y'all can't eat till I say what I gotta say. Francois, as many connections as he has up to this point, he's still not, damn, I don't want to say Diddy in this time, but
yeah, you still ain't him. Like you a little nigga.
Still not him. You're still not walking across the bridge to Brooklyn, for some cheesecake. You're still not that. And as much as you say that you're helping us, nigga, you need us. We are equally as beneficial to you at this point than you are to us. So what the fuck are you on? Absolutely not.
I was hoping one of them would have that conversation with him, because you wouldn't even be around if you just came up and I saw you. And here's the thing: I saw you with my own two eyes get out of character when you met Lord AK. You know what I mean? Now you brought the humble voice on and all that. Yeah, now you claiming this, all that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know what type of shit you on, but and you a producer, and I'm not saying it in a negative connotation, but you aren't a manager. You're not interested in the things that Duke does on a day-to-day for us. You're not interested in doing that. You just want to use what you have, see what you can get out of it until the next thing comes along. You're working with Rain. Like I see what you about. That's some real Ren and 10 brown sugar shit. Like it's just, that's what it is. Like I'm a pure artist.
For sure.
But this is the game, man. Do I want to get my art out do I want to get my Shawna X raps out to 20,000 people, or do I want to get them out to 2 million?
Exactly. The interesting thing is, and I think a big part of why the girls can't see is because they're low-key getting caught up and they're not focused. Shawna, she is still worried about going to jail. She literally has a lot on her plate.
I didn't think about that.
But Mia is low-key getting caught up in the life. She's low-key focused, and you really more worried about these niggas than the grind. Because if anybody, she is a former stripper. She should know how to navigate a little bit better I consider her somebody with significantly more street smarts, especially in comparison to Shawna. I feel like Mia knows why the cage bird sings, but because it's a little flash of gold, it's a little something extra, a little bit of the life, like, oh, maybe this ain't what I thought it was. So I'm a little unfocused, or now I don't necessarily trust my judgment the way that I usually would. I'm not necessarily super alert. My head is not really on a swivel the way that it's had to be in Miami. So I'm just kind of letting. Yeah.
That's interesting because now I'm thinking, what do you think? What do you think that's from? Do you think that's? Do you think Mia sees them as a success right now, or do you think that Mia is just looking at this from the viewpoint of this might not happen again, so I'm gonna milk it for everything I can at this moment?
Absolutely that. And she's trying to get
That
fucked.
yeah, and I get that because I you live in a fast life right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're gonna go back to Miami at some point. You're gonna have to deal with the real world, your daughter, income, all of
Mm-hmm.
that. But right now, this is the time. If you are gonna have three niggas running around the house, two niggas
Yep.
on your how to be a player shit, this is the time to do it.
Yep.
She thinks she's Drayton Jackson.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because when she said I'll be ducking niggas like Lil Kim and did the little dance, I was fucking weak. I want to highlight that real quick.
Uh-huh.
This episode, probably out of all of them, out of all 14 episodes between season 1 and 2, this one made me laugh out loud the most.
Yeah.
It was just some silly ass shit going on. Like
Silly
it wasn't even the jokes. A lot of it was expression.
Mm-hmm.
Rain at the very beginning, that whole Instagram live, that shit was so ridiculous. And the way she stood up and kind of put her hand over her crotch and shit and told old girl to stop. The fact that there was a black woman, because there's always a black person that they keep around that justifies all this bullshit that they be doing.
That's it.
Of course, she's doing her braids.
Mm-hmm. But the stand up and not really knowing what run the fade
means,
ma'am.
That's what made it even more funny.
Ice grilling. What are you talking about? Again,
yeah, I don't run from nothing. Run the fade don't mean you running from shit. That means you're running to it. I'm about to whoop your ass. I'm about to run this fade.
Silly ass shit. And the black and her hairstylist kind of look like, bitch, what?
Yeah.
It's only so
the funniest
keep up with that.
I was just gonna say the funniest moment in this whole episode to me was that moment. It was probably my favorite scene. The moment between Francois and Duke Chasity. Mm-hmm. When they first seen each other, like, yo, let me talk to you. You having meetings with my artist? I go, okay, Suge Knight. And then when he kind of like gave her the game and told her this is what it is, or you can like sit around and ride the wave and what's going on. And Chasity kind of gave that look, and that nigga mimicked her. Like I would have smoked that nigga
right then and there. Bink, bitch.
Because it ain't nothing worse than somebody that know they can get away with the bullshit. Like you need your ass whooped, and I can't whoop your ass. Ain't nothing worse than having to take that humble pie right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, at some point I'm gonna slap this nigga. I promise you, nigga. As soon as I get my first check, I'm whooping your ass.
I'm whooping your ass, and it's gonna be earned. It's gonna be earned. Man. What did you think of the girls actually apologizing to Raina for rapping without her in episode 4 and low-key throwing shots or returning the shots that Raina absolutely threw first?
This is the type of shit that worries me personally. Like if this is the game, then I ain't gonna make it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing this shit. For what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with a conversation. I'm not gonna apologize. And they didn't apologize. I love that. I was laughing when I was watching. I'm like, oh, that's a Rachel conversation. I hate, don't you hate when you feel away? I just hate that you felt a way about, I ain't sorry for what. I just hate that you felt a way about it. But why am I apologizing? And I'm on the same shit Chasity was on. Like, and she looked and like, oh, y'all gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because Francois said it. Because Francois said that he got us a meeting with or a studio session with Party, and he got us a meeting with at the Billboard thing and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck what he did. I don't have to apologize to her. Have her apologize to us. Or let's sit down and have a convo. I have no issue telling her what my issue is. We can keep this shit business. I ain't gotta like you. We can still go on about this tour and keep shit a buck. There's plenty of people that work with each other all the time that don't like each other. Hall and
You
Oates, my niggas is in court right now.
yeah.
You feel me?
For
Like
sure.
it just happens. It just happens over time. But there's nothing. The way you get through all that bullshit is by having open and honest conversations.
For
Just keep it
sure.
real. Like, look, this is
Sure.
my issue. When she told, I don't. Why don't you like me? And she told her like, this is why, because you're doing this, that, and the third. That's what it is. So look, I'm never gonna fuck with you. I'm not.
That's
The little petty disses back and forth. You know, we felt you threw some shots. We threw some back. That's rap. If you felt a way about that, and if to make it through this tour, I ain't even getting paid, man. You know what? Fuck you, SMD. Get the fuck out of my face.
no, for sure. And the reality is if you want to throw shots, you cannot hang with me.
At all.
So let's have a mutual understanding. This is business. We can keep it cute. But, white girls are tricky. And no matter how much black girl cosplay you want to do, that white always sneak in there. It's
Always.
always a foot. It's always just underneath the surface. And if you're not careful, you end up in some shit. And
Talk
you
about
got to watch them. Ooh, I'm about to
talk about being a character, man. That's the biggest example of that shit. Because there's no way, like that's not you. There's no way you wake up in the morning and this is who your natural person is.
this isn't how
It's
you
exhausting.
this isn't how you speak to your parents. This isn't how you handle like real business with other white people. This is something that you put on for black people, and I don't really understand why. I'm with you, Shawna. Like, bitch, what the fuck is you on? I'm black. I'm a rapper. I don't talk or act like that. What the fuck is this? Even if you just, and I think that's the part that drives me and Shawna crazy. If you want to rap. But where does this extra fake ghetto fabulous twerk fake AAVE come from? Nigga, you could just,
Mm-hmm.
if you really, really love rap, if you really, really love music in the game, if you're talented, you could just do that shit. You could be a white Eminem. You could be a female Eminem. He didn't put on a nigga voice. He
That's
said,
and that's
yeah.
yeah. And I was just about to say something, and I just realized it doesn't matter in today's age. Somebody like me would have, if I went to high school, rain or rain or whatever, man, I'm putting what? That's not no. He ain't doing this bullshit, man. This girl was in the fucking I don't even know.
Yeah.
Whatever those non-black shit apart what
Mhm.
you could do in high school, that's what she was.
For
So all
sure.
this shit is an act.
For
But
sure.
I just thought about it. It don't matter what you do. People don't care. People don't care.
Yeah.
Character does not matter at all in any kind of entertainment industry. Is whatever. You
Hmm.
can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Hmm.
And people, oh fuck it, that was a long time ago. I'll still fuck with her music. She's still funny. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Some light. Oh, go ahead.
I was just about to hit something light too, so we might be on the same thing. Go ahead.
What did you think of Shauna's call to Maurice?
That's exactly what I was about to talk about.
We see each
We
other.
here, man. Exactly what I was gonna talk about. So Shauna's really not. Once again, just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Her and Maurice need a real conversation about what's going on because I'm not checking on you on some you my nigga type shit. Even
Yeah.
though I'm presenting it that way, I'm really trying to see what the fuck is good. Am I cool? And that's what we need to get to the bottom of. I think the fact that Shawna is not keeping it real with him like that is the
Mhm.
reason why she can't see what he's doing on the other end.
Yeah.
Like just these questions he's asking and trying to like even if you didn't suspect him of anything, you have to be cautious enough to know everybody's listening at all times.
But Shauna ain't street smart.
She ain't, and that's what's frustrating right now because it's right there. My instincts would have went up so quick as soon as you start asking me specific questions of remember the time and this, like, huh? What the fuck you talking about, bro?
That's it. Actually,
Yeah,
calls with
and I know, yeah, and I know I know we in the middle of some shit. Like the
Mhm.
feds done got involved. Like, and I'm not talking about none of this shit with you. You got the wrong
Yeah.
person. I can't hear you, my guy. Um, it's Maurice. Do I want to call him a sucker? Yes.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, yeah, he is a sucker because my biggest thing is, and I get trying to protect yourself and want to stay free. You know, classic Alonzo. You want to go to jail or you want to go home? Nigga, I want to go home. That's always gonna be the answer. I always want to go home. However, if I know that I'm into some bullshit and I'm in the bullshit with you, I'm not selling you out to get myself out of the bullshit. I was in the bullshit as well.
That part.
That's kind of one of those things where you just got to eat it. Like if this goes south, which it very well could, I look at it as gambling, right? Again, I can put $50 on black at this roulette table. There's a good chance that shit can land on red. I can't bitch and moan and cry if it lands on red and I lose my money. That was part of the risk. That's the same thing with committing crimes. It's some scamming shit, it's some small shit, yeah. But if they come knocking at the door, we gotta have our shit straight. And I can't sell you under the bus because I got caught.
That's it. It was no contingency plan. No what if, just in case. And that shit is crazy because it seems like Maurice and Stanley are big scammers. So you didn't have no plan, or was the plan always to throw Shawna under the bus? As to which I feel like that's what Maurice has, or not Maurice, what Stanley has always been on.
Oh, Stanley's been on that from jump. I wonder how much of this is that something they always do? Do they, or are they able to continue scamming because they always have a fall guy? Or have they always been successful with no issues? And now since your ass got involved, we having this shit. And now we're gonna throw you under the bus for that reason. Yeah. I don't know. I just know Stanley moving funny. I know Maurice moving funny because Stanley's telling him some bullshit. Stanley's the real one to watch. He's the one that's, you know,
for sure.
He's on his Geppetto. And there's some shit he's not telling Maurice.
And given, I believe it was episode 3, where we see Maurice overhear Stanley talking to the other cousins, like, it is what it is. It's definitely not going to be me. And I know blood is quote unquote thicker than water, but I'm actually surprised Maurice has not now then distanced himself from Stanley. You're allowing him in your space. You're allowing him to be Geppetto even for you. That's crazy to me. So now I'm like, damn, Maurice ain't as smart as I thought he was. Neither. He ain't as slick as.
Or Rachel isn't. Or is that going to be a big twist for us? Is Maurice going to be playing him the whole time? Are we going to get to episode 8 and he flipped the switch on Stanley? Because to your point,
he did hear that.
He did hear that, and you got to pay attention to it. You can't just. I don't think the show gave us that just to give it to us. And I'm hoping that Maurice is on some other shit and setting Stanley up as well, because, or not even setting up, has a solution, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
hopefully he has a solution for it. Speaking of other quick phone calls, we get Mia and Lamont. Full disclosure, those of you listening know, Rachel nor myself have children.
No.
We don't know any kind of. We've never been in any baby mama dad situations where, in the sense, let me clarify, in the sense where it is our child and we're speaking with the person we made that child with to get some shit figured out.
Correct.
Or whatever that relationship is. You know? And we've seen it constantly where Mia just be shitting on him. Emotionally. Emotionally, Mia shits on him. Lamont isn't where he was in season 1. I don't feel like he got any kind of, check for any kind of beats he's been making recently. He didn't rent out the Maybach or the Rolls Royce. Yeah. Sound like he's back at grandma's house and he's trying to make sure it works. So the fact that man bought a plane ticket, which I don't know the last time any of y'all flew out there, man, that shit ain't cheap.
At all.
To LA of all places, thinking that, you and the most important thing, Rachel, funny because we had a similar conversation off air about this. You hit me up, Nick. We didn't have to do none of this.
That part.
You invited me out to LA on some you should come out. So what the fuck are we doing? What you mean you wish you would have hit me up earlier? What you talking about? The hotel can only give you 3 keys. What the fuck that got to do with me?
I don't even need a key.
I'm with you.
That part.
Keep it a buck. Once again, everybody just keep it real. What the fuck is going on? Because I know you too well to know that some shit just ain't come up. And all of a sudden, while I'm packing my bag, I can't come. You should come to the next city. Like, nah, if you fucking someone, you fucking someone. If you're doing that, you're doing that. Just keep it real with me. Shit, I'm not your man.
But Lamont knows that Mia is on some bullshit because he knows.
Yeah,
I
that's why he
know
hit her with the fuck you.
silly shit.
That wasn't that, man. You got me on some bullshit, man. Fuck you. Hang up. That wasn't a angry. That was a
Mhm,
disappointed. That was a I should have seen this coming.
mhm.
Like you always do this. Like I always want you to change, and you always hit me with it. And like I said, the biggest thing for me, you hit me up. You invited me out. So don't hell nah. And I just bought the ticket. I'm going anyway. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna figure it out.
Bruh, I'll be in Duke room.
Straight up. Figuring something out.
Some silly shit. Mhm, mhm.
I ain't
I
doing this
felt
with you. I
bad
talked
for
about that peace of mind. That's what he told her. I'm not doing this with you, Mia.
I felt bad for Lamont in this instance because to your point, where did you even scrape up this little bit of money from to get out here? And you don't had to ask your mama to watch Melissa extra time. Like it's a lot of moves that's being made on the back end, and you want some silly shit. And I wish before I bought this shit, you just would have been for real, for real. Even if Mia would have hit him up that night and be like, hey, it's looking like maybe it might not be a good idea. You had ample time to rectify that, and you didn't before he jumped on
And that's the thing.
it.
I know that they have a good enough relationship where she could just hit him with that. Like, yo, I was on some bullshit yesterday. I completely forgot I had X, Y, and Z going on.
Hmm.
Let's look at a different city, whatever the case may be. But I can't do it this go round. Or I'm gonna catch you back when I get to Miami. My bad. Don't even worry about it.
I know Mia's voice enough to know that she on some bullshit. And so
Hell yeah. And
poor
you
Lamont.
saying bullshit. Like you
Mhm.
might have been okay until you started talking about the hotel room having 3 keys. Like
Right,
what? The
right.
fuck are you talking about? That would
Silly,
have pissed me off. That would have
silly.
pissed me off because
Mhm,
now you insulting my intelligence. Like now you
mhm,
trying to be funny.
mhm. Silly shit.
Like say what you mean the first time, my nigga. If you don't want me to come, just tell me. But I'm also curious why you invited me. But that's
Right,
neither here nor there.
right.
Um,
Let's stay on Mia because I we can deal with Shawna and her situation last. Uh,
yeah,
so we know that now Lamont is out of the picture for this LA trip. And we know that Mia has to juggle Cash, Chaser the Goat, who is crazy as fuck, and Courtney. We could not figure out his name last week to save our lives.
Courtney. Yep, absolutely. I had it written down.
Cash sends Mia a Mugler dress, which is crazy because she was giving him all these play-by-plays, but he wasn't even responding to her. But he sent you this dress, so now you think shit is sweet. You told him where you're gonna be, all of this to make yourself seem like, no, I'm really fucking with you. This, that, and the third. And now this nigga's gonna be here. And now Courtney, who you've been kicking it with these last couple days, who y'all had this amazing night in Oakland, and now you have to juggle the two. You ain't really no juggler like that, I see.
Straight up.
But Cat is crazy.
Cash is wild. He's a
Um,
wild dude, man.
he is controlling, he is
Absolutely.
insecure. I 1000% believe that he is somebody who puts hands on women. Like, it's definitely more to the story with the ex who he put out, who he moved in and put out. Definitely more to the story. We see this nigga be very possessive over Mia
Hmm.
after he embarrassed her last week with posting the photo of her in the lingerie. And then when she brings it up to him,
I
go
was
ahead,
just about to say, without a proper apology.
without an apology. Oh, you ain't like that? What? Nigga, you know I didn't like that. Yes, I'm mad. Are you fucking crazy? Why would you do that? And when they're at this industry party for Billboard, obviously, and you want me sitting up under you, why? Why? You know I'm on tour with these niggas, so I'm jamming to Laura AK's music. somebody who I have to look like I'm enjoying, just again, industry purposes, again, appearances are everything. Again, relationships. I'm on this nigga's tour. I can't just be sitting here looking like fuck what he talking about. I have to pretend to be into this music, even if I'm not. And you talking about something you vibing a little bit too hard. Nigga, are you fucking crazy? You are an insecure, petty ass man. Fuck you. I don't like this nigga. And I liked that nigga. Mm. That's why you can't like niggas.
Um, Rachel, you just
Yeah.
said everything.
Ah.
You hit the nail on the head. I was just about to say, I don't know if I've had a quicker turnaround in the character than
Mhm.
Cash, Chasing the Goat.
Mhm.
Because it really went from, damn, Mia, like, why you send that text, man? Hopefully you can get it back to, like,
Yeah.
why you fucking with him, Mia?
Let's run.
In the span of an episode and a half.
Mhm.
Like, you was just on some weird shit. You did your weird shit last week, and even then it was kind of justified. Because I'm like, maybe this nigga salty and hurting. Don't
Yeah.
want to take a swim with me and all that shit. Super
Mhm.
petty shit. But all right, but now you're really showing us who you are. Like, you want to always make the reference of kids and toys. You
Mhm.
know, you don't. You can have a toy sitting there all day. Somebody
Mm.
else come over, they pick up that toy. Now you mad. Now you want to throw a fit. You want your toy back. Not
Yeah.
because you was about to use it, but because it's your toy. Cash
Mhm.
is doing that to me. I don't fuck with you for real, but I don't want nobody else fucking with you. If
That
I'm
part.
in the city, then you're gonna be on my arm. And
That
when I
part.
go to the next city, it's gonna be a different woman and so on and
That
so
part.
forth. But
Mhm.
you out here sending dresses and making it seem like it might be more than that. You want me to be up under you. Keep your shit G. You can send that dress, do your thing. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck what you do at that party. Just make sure you at room such and such
Right.
after everything finishes. I'm the one taking that dress off you.
Yeah.
You feel me? If I'm buying the dress, I'm taking it off you. That's what it is.
Ah. Courtney
I'm
said he
that
ain't
nigga
gotta
too.
take it off. I can just lift it up.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
Period.
lift it up at the party and later. It don't matter. The whole point is keep your shit G. If you genuinely care, which we know he doesn't, so this is all null and void. But if you really care, you know this is a big deal. This is your first billboard event.
Yeah.
You got a lot of somebodies in this room. Go work the room. Go be on your grind. Go do your shit. Do your thing. I'm somebody too. I got connections to make. I got more money to get out here. This
Mhm.
ain't the type of party I'm even trying to be up under you the
That
whole
part.
time.
That part.
Or explain who you are because we don't even really know each other. I don't even know what we're doing for real. I just know I fuck with you, and I got the means, finances, and
Mhm.
resources
Mhm.
to buy you a dress or fly you out or do whatever I need to do. We'll
Yeah.
figure out the rest on the fly. But Courtney is the one she should be fucking with.
For sure.
And that's very clear, and he cares about it. Like he likes her.
Did Courtney see Mia sitting up under Cash?
I don't think so, and I honestly don't think he would care. He might ask, like, what's up with that?
What's up with that? Yeah, you see
But
how
not even in an angry way. Just like, oh, I saw you
let
with
me
Cash.
know.
What's up? What's your
Yeah,
situation? He might have a little bit of a because we have been kicking it. You were in my room, even though we ain't shit jump off. Like it was an intimate setting.
for sure.
But also, if you're keeping a G about shit, there's no rules, no regulations, no titles, no none of that to it. So as a man in those situations, you got to keep it buck. If you out, you got a little situation, you talking to a girl here and there, and you
Yeah,
go out and you see her out with somebody else, that ain't no time to be running down. Lock it up
yeah.
or
Be
shut up. Be
be
cool about the shit. Yeah, because if
niggas
it's
is
something to get that if it's something to get that amped up about, that's some wife shit. That's some marriage shit. That's some
for sure.
not no. Oh, I hit you up here and there, or we got a little bond or whatever. That's nothing like that.
Mhm.
You just keep that shit G and keep it moving. And Courtney kind of gives me that type of energy.
Yeah,
Like I'm not. We ain't even got nothing established yet. Like I fuck with you, but I know how this shit work. I know how. I think they intentionally did maybe put me in that situation to show the industry. There's always a joke.
mm,
Niggas date the same 10 women.
yeah.
It feels like. So I don't know. Cash a sucker. Um,
Real
I was
bad.
hoping that a fight would have broken out, but I don't know, man. I just
Yeah,
don't
I
like his.
think that it was on its way to.
Yeah, but and because he wanted to take it there. I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Cash. I don't know if we're gonna see him again. Hopefully, Mia, that's enough for her to realize, like, yo, fuck him. Like, hope she's the one blocking him.
For sure.
And maybe get some shit popping with Courtney. I don't know where Mia goes from here because obviously the events that transpired put a halt to everything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she's messing. I don't know how Courtney feels about everything. Because there is another side of that too, where it's like, yo, if I don't need to know your history. I don't need to know none of that. But make sure I'm not in no position where I'm embarrassing myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not saying you got to tell me everybody, get your phone number to in 6th grade. But if you fucked with such and such, I don't want to be in the nigga face like saying what's up and smiling. Y'all got some history. I'm not gonna trip, but here's the scene. Here's the room. Don't have this nigga out here pushing me and shit, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. You fucking cash? I didn't know that shit.
Right, but also this is the first time that we saw Courtney and Cash anywhere even near each other. They hadn't dapped each other up throughout the party. Like it hadn't been no, oh, okay, da 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 type shit. So he probably don't even really know that nigga. Like I might know who you are. So I think in this case, maybe it's not an instance of quote unquote homie hopping because obviously they're not homies. But
I don't think so.
Maybe some industry shit, but y'all not fly like that. So it really shouldn't even matter beyond that, other than I'm being possessive over you. In Cash's case. I like that Courtney actually fuck with me. I like that he took her in the bathroom, like, hey, yesterday, your stomach was growling, but I just wanted to kiss you. Like, you look good as fuck. I wanted to see you. I want some time. And absolutely put me up on the sink if you can. Like, that tension had been building between them. And I'm about to tell my mother, are you that love starved? I think that Mia also needed that, especially because she's now realized that Cash is on some other shit. She realizes now, for real, that he's not who she was building him up to be, who she thought he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga's lame, high key.
Super lame.
And you possessive and you tried to embarrass me, that ain't my kind of nigga. Like, you don't really move as player as I thought you did. Even if I was wrong for taking that picture, and a little bit of part of me was trying to come up with a nigga with some fucking cash because my baby daddy don't have none. Goddamn. But nah, you ain't really my kind of nigga. You ain't really got it. You ain't really got it. And I want to say Mia needed that little bit of dick because for real, I felt like she was fucking up the little intro with Tunji. I felt like he was very put off by her. We didn't talk about it when we did that Francois thing, but I absolutely think that Tunji was put off by that whole interaction with Mia, Shawna, and Duke.
All right, we can talk about it before we talk about Shawna and Lord AK and everything.
Okay.
You just made great points in regards to Mia because that is something to remember. I said it earlier. At the end of the day, y'all niggas are established.
Yeah.
But when this is all said and done, I'm on that flight back to Miami, and I got to figure shit out.
Yep.
So if I can make a little come up or make a couple connections to my own benefit while I'm out here, then that's cool. We'll see how that transpires, and if she decides to just focus on herself, or if she continues to maybe rock things out with Courtney.
Yeah.
If there is some kind of apology to Lamont, and maybe something's rekindled there, who knows? We'll see. That was a very interesting scene with Tunji and the girls. I said it already. I don't trust Francois as far as I can throw him.
At all.
So I have no idea if what he said was true or not. I don't even know. Dare I say? And Rachel, I swear on everything I thought this. I don't even know if that was really Tunji. For all intents and purposes. I don't know if that's somebody. This nigga just said, "Hey, act like you somebody, so I can run this little good play." Because niggas in the industry will do that, and they will gladly volunteer and help you out with it.
Sure.
Now, on the flip side, this is a big party. There are serious people here. I don't think you can probably parade around as
Yeah.
somebody. And he also said, I really like seducing scheme.
Right.
I think he added some things in to make me debunk that myth. But for a second, just because of Francois' character,
Yeah.
it's something I have to think about. He did give a look to Mia. Honestly, both of them. Like, what
I
the
think
fuck are
he
you
was
talking
very
about?
put off. I think he was very put off because yes,
Like,
authenticity, but time and
yeah,
place.
yeah, that shouldn't be because unless you're really like that 24/7. If that switch is on all day, then okay. But that switch isn't on all day with you, Mia. That's not, you know how to talk to certain people.
Correct.
Like, you a hustler. Like, you work in a
Correct.
strip club once upon a
Correct.
time. That's the ultimate hustler.
Correct.
You know how to make this shit work. You know if the money coming,
Mm-hmm.
what to be looking. Like, you ain't got to introduce yourself as that. Like, you can say you real and authentic. I'm not a rapper. Just tell them you're not a rapper. Like, I'm a real nigga from Miami
Mm-hmm.
who's nice on the mic. And now we gaining some steam. Whatever your story is, but
Yeah.
it almost came off that she was unsure of who she was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Once again, full circle. Everybody's playing a character.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's playing a role. This is who I am when I rap. This is who I am when I'm on the internet. This is who I am when I'm meeting people. This is who I am in real life. It's just too much to juggle. Too much to juggle.
Mm-hmm.
Even the whole Francois, when she's not getting in trouble, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, why are you trying to, what image are you trying to paint?
I'm a bad girl.
Yeah, like, I don't get it because that's not me. And I've been telling you, I want to drop my shit. I
And,
want to get back to what I do.
and I'm actually trying to keep that trouble shit low.
Matter of fact, don't ever bring that shit up again.
Ever. Crazy.
Ever.
Crazy. Got to keep an eye. Niggas is tricky.
Yeah, and they will use everything they can for leverage to make sure you know. All right. Now, I will say this before we move on.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tunji said anything about Chasity. Or let me ask you this. Did Tunji say something about Chasity, or was that just another way for Francois to say?
This is Francois being on some Francois bullshit. That nigga ain't say shit about Chasity.
And I never understood why. I don't know, man.
As green.
Go ahead.
As what I think you're gonna say. As green as Chasity is, Francois knows that she is not going to allow him to truly bullshit the girls. That is why I have to get you out the way so that I can do what the fuck I want to do. So that I can maneuver however it is that I need to maneuver so that I come out on top and the girls be damned.
Rachel, I love you.
I love you.
It's Jay-Z's birthday, man. We say it all the time. And that's like somebody that gets you. Baby, I get you. Because that's exactly what I was about to try to say. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, why is he so threatened? Why can't he just keep her around in the day-to-day capacity? Let her do what she needs to do with the girls. I mean, you just answered it perfectly.
Yeah.
You just answered it perfectly. So I guess we have to get into Shawna and Lord AK.
Yeah.
Which I'll be the first to admit. What the fuck? I don't. Is this a? I can definitely say I've never seen that before. It just really caught me off guard. Not necessarily the fact that he was in that place mentally, but lighting yourself on fire is just. It's beyond my belief. I just wasn't, especially for a show like Rap Shit. I was not expecting that.
So, upon my first watch, I was like, "What in the entire fuck?" Mm-hmm. But when I came back to it, Lord AK was dropping hints. There was foreboding that shit was afoot. If we're in casual conversation, not even casual, if we're flirting and enjoying each other's company, and you ask me out the clear blue sky, what do I want my last meal to be? And you say this shit we're eating right this second. Is everything okay?
Yeah, that should have been.
You need some help. And again, I'm not blaming Shawna, but she is a dingbat, high key. So
I wonder. I wonder if she took it as maybe this is his way of saying how much he really loves this pastry. That he loves it so much that he would want it to be his last meal. Versus people like you and me, like, yo, my nigga, you all right?
I think it just didn't register. I think it registers in her replaying the night,
Mm-hmm.
but not in that instance. It's just like, oh, that's something strange to say, you know. And she probably has a cigar high because she don't smoke cigars, so you know her ass was inhaling, you know. So it was just a lot. There's that. He also alluded to the fact like I'm doing so much just to feel something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a clinical psychologist, but I do know that a lot of people who self harm, it's because they're numb in other areas and they just want to physically feel something, and the pain of cutting or burning yourself satisfies that because there is a sensation of something because I'm numb everywhere else in my body, mind, body, spirit. But here, or
Mm-hmm.
mind, spirit, and here in the body, I can feel this flash of pain. I can feel that, you know? Then
Mm-hmm.
we get, I take you away because you have to put on, you have to perform now. That fucking Gats ignorant ass put you on the spot again. If you my nigga like that, why would you do that? I understand niggas need to be hype about me, but for real, we can keep this shit low. This is a billboard party. I'm positive there are other artists whose music we played throughout this party who are just vibing and keeping shit low because we don't need to do all of that. But now, because you've put me on the spot, I have to turn it on. And maybe I hadn't hyped myself up enough for the day to turn it on.
Mm.
Planned on
No,
just coming, vibing, being cool, out the
that's a
way,
that,
in the picture.
that's a great point. Um, Man, a lot of places to go with that. For one, mental health is serious,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're when someone close to you is going through whatever they're going through, or
Mm-hmm.
working through their issues, there always seems to be a want to help. Like, I want to just be there for you, and it looks different for everybody.
For
And
sure.
the best way is just to be available and see
Mm-hmm.
what that is. It pisses me off that Lord AK is surrounded by people who don't even see him,
Mm-hmm.
probably
Mm-hmm.
don't even know he's hurting,
Yeah,
because they're in it for their own interest. Like Gad is the stereo, and they're doing this on purpose. I
for
mean, Lord
sure.
AK represents that. There is a new generation now of rappers who are more of this emotional music. I don't know if what is categorized, but a lot of depressed, talking about their depressed feelings and
Mm-hmm.
drug use and pill popping and all that kind of stuff. And you go to look at some of these YouTube pages, you see their concerts, and there's people who are singing at the top of their lungs and resonating. So I'm like, damn, this is really prevalent. This is something
Yeah.
that's really going on. Um, your RIP to Juice World. You have your all types of rappers are kind of on that, and Gad is the perfect person that represents the yes man, the person in the group that's I'm just here for the ride. I don't care about you as a person. I care about the things you provide for me. As soon as this is over, our relationship is over.
Yeah.
Versus, nah, my nigga, like I got your back. Like I care. Matter of fact, fuck this party. We can skip this party, bro. We ain't gotta go. We ain't gotta do none of that.
Mind you, not to cut you off,
Go
he may
ahead.
not know the level, but they all are also mourning the loss of another friend
His
who
brother.
who his brother who just passed. Nigga.
That was my next point because we learned that from this conversation in the studio when she said, "I'm
Mhm.
sorry to hear about that." And he
Yeah.
kind of had this look where grief is real, man. Especially when you lose somebody close to you.
Mhm.
Um, it's hard to just navigate in this world and act like nothing happened. Like try to be at the studio and make a song when my nigga, I'm still going through it.
Mhm.
So he was still in a place where it wasn't all good. You just got to be more aware of that.
For sure.
And um,
But he's
yeah,
not. Remember, even that episode 2 when they're backstage in the green room when the other when the other, I don't want to call him lackey, but the other member of the entourage is actively like crying at the party, like, huh, you just gonna take drugs, nigga. We're
Mm-hmm.
all burning. Somebody close to us just died, and this is what you want. You can't even come up out of your own selfish motive to just be cool and to be there for your niggas.
Right, right. And it's just, man, it's just so hard to. The biggest thing I can say, like, you just have to pay attention because it is so hard. Not most times people aren't going to step up and say,
Mhm.
"I'm having suicidal thoughts."
Yeah.
Maybe depending on the relationship you have, but that's not a comfortable conversation. That's not something that most people want to put on other people. A lot of people, no matter what you're going through, it could be the smallest of things. People look at it from a sense of, "Oh, I didn't want to put that on you. I know you have a lot going on." X, Y, and Z. Like, nah, my nigga, like, talk about it. And it's just
Mhm.
hard to be in that space. So it takes a good group of people who genuinely check in and care. You hear that a lot, especially when people take their own lives. A lot of people close to them will the first thing they'll say, man, I wish I'd have known. I wish I'd have seen. I wish I'd have reached out more. And you can't blame yourself for stuff like that. But I do challenge everyone to be aware in their friendships.
Mhm.
They're genuine friendships. They're real ones. They're not the ones you are actually you feel responsible for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just pretty messed up with Lord AK reaching a point. And I don't know if that's his personal life. I don't know if he just woke up one day and realized, like, hey, everything around me is fake.
Mhm.
Everything around me, the people that are around me, the songs that I make, like, I don't give a fuck about none of this. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's strictly from, I forget his brother's name, Bricks. I don't know if
Mhm.
it's solely from Bricks passing away. I don't know what's causing this. Um, but when you reach a point where you burn yourself alive,
Crazy.
that is, I do not want to be here. That's a very confident decision.
Mhm.
Um, what do you think that? Do you think that Lord AK is still alive?
Yes.
Okay, because he's not in. There wasn't a corner. He was taken out away in the ambulance, and I think got the blanket in time. Severe burns. Probably never going to perform again. Probably never going to record again or live any kind of
Mhm.
normal life for that matter because of that. But I didn't know because Nate. Shout out to Nate, man.
Shout out
Nate Goofy ass hit me up on Friday. Yo, Lord AK dead.
to Oh Lord.
I said, Nate, man, the episode ain't even been out like 12 hours, bro. I ain't even watch it. He was like, oh, never mind. I'm talking about something else. So we ended up having a conversation about that. And I knew this episode was going to be crazy because um, Spike hit me up too. Shout out to Spike.
Shout out to
He hit
Spike.
me up Saturday morning and was like, yo, you watch rap shit yet? And I'm like, nah. I'm like, why? Some shit go down? He said, just let me know when you watch. So I kind of knew that something was coming.
Mhm.
And going back to your point earlier about the what would you want your last meal to be? I
Mhm.
picked up on that a lot sooner because like Nate already asked if this nigga died. I'm like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on? I just
Yeah.
didn't expect that nigga to be on fire. Like, that's
I
wild.
didn't either. I didn't either. Um, and again, I spoke on the needing to feel something physically. I mean, okay, and to his point, when you take all those pills, it does cause erectile dysfunction. It does cause performance issues. And so now you've been feeling me like this is the first time you're feeling anything in so long, and now you can't perform. I already am severely depressed, and now I'm embarrassed on top of that. And now I need to feel something other than that shame, other than that feeling. And this is the next
Do,
best thing is setting myself on fire.
do you think? Oh, okay. Let me ask you this thing.
Mhm.
And this might be dangerous grounds because you can't to try to get in the head of someone.
Yeah.
And of course, this is a fictional character. Do you think Lord AK was just trying to get that feeling versus trying to unalive himself? Like, do you think that was an attempt to unalive himself, or do you think that I'm going to the most extreme measure to try to feel something? And do you think that was a direct reflection of what happened with Shawna? If let's say there was no erectile dysfunction and they were able to get into the
How
act, do you think that still would have happened?
no.
And like I said, it's hard to. That's an impossible question to answer. Um, but do you? How much do you think was triggered directly by that? Like, you know what? This is the last straw.
Yeah, I think that it was definitely a last straw thing, but there is part of me that maybe believes maybe even that wasn't the intent. Maybe I meant to like burn my arm and my sleeve caught, and then I was entrenched before I could even realize it, because again, I can't really feel. It's got to be something. That is what I'm hopeful of, versus an I'm trying to burn myself.
Because it's and I don't mean to like I'm very serious when I say this.
Yeah.
I just never seen no shit like that before. So it to your point, like did he try to do this? Because I've never. Usually when people go about ending their life in that nature,
Mm-hmm.
it's quick. Pills, jump, gunshot wound. Not something that you're going to sit there and endure.
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling that you're discussing, that's something that is. I mean, there's a whole. I mean, there's podcasts about this type of stuff and these type
Yeah.
of behaviors, and just that need to feel something. And now I thought about it, and like maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. Maybe it could have been something that just went wrong or a
Yeah.
little too far. I don't think that was his intent.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, once again, fictional character. We don't know a lot about him. He doesn't seem like a grandiose, I'm going to go out in this grand manner
And a blaze of
type of
glory.
person. Yeah, he doesn't strike me as that type of person. He strikes me as the type where, if something like that, where some kind of tragedy were to happen, privacy of his own home, some
Mm-hmm.
shit you pull up your phone and like, oh shit, what? I don't think he was. I don't know. Like I said, this is hopefully that we're not fumbling the combo because there's so much that goes into mental health and you can't assume anything. And once again, it is a fictional show. These are fictional characters,
Sure.
but these are real life things. So hopefully, Lord AK is still with us. I think he is. Like I said, they did get him out in the ambulance. I know there are going to be a ton of effects. Rachel, I know you mentioned that they're not going to end the tour. I
Yeah.
don't think either of us saw it in this manner because obviously no tour without Lord AK.
Right.
So I think we're going to have to go back to Miami for these last 3 episodes and really figure out life and what's going on next and
Mm-hmm.
what's the overall. Does that impact anything that they have going on as far as music? Because this happened at a Billboard party. Do people look at Shawna weird? Is Gat gonna go on some kind of rampage talking about she drove him to this because they was alone and the next thing you know my nigga's on fire? How is this all gonna pan out and work?
Oh, I don't know. I that is very in the nature of what we've seen of Gat.
Oh,
Uh,
100. That's a certainty, Rachel. I can beg money on that. The Gat is going to be telling people, fuck her. Like that groupie chick been trying to get in here and do this, that, and the third for all this time. She finally got to him, and now this nigga burned him. She's like, no, fuck her. She up to this. She behind it. That's 100% on brand for them. The show would fumble an opportunity if he did not do that. Like
yeah.
there's no way that I can't see that not happening.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck. He's gonna do something to that nature. I
Yeah,
don't
because it
want
was
him,
just them two. Of
but
all the people to come in this room, it's you.
yeah, yeah. And he was calling Shauna all types of bitches, even then in
In
that
the state
moment.
of crisis, go get help, bitch. Like
Yeah,
God need his ass whipped
for sure. For sure.
multiple times. Like every time, like you know what, that get one of them niggas you beat up, and then after that you say, every time I see you, I might give you a little slap.
Yeah. He's a
I
fucking
might give you a little slap on. But that was a full episode, Rachel.
it
I don't know
was.
if there's anything else that you'd like to
It was.
discuss or cover.
Nope.
I think
That's
we
it.
got everything down
Mm,
pat. Um, you talked about the roller coaster and where we are from a climactic perspective.
mhm.
Still think we're going to be looking at that penultimate episode, episode 7, where all the shit really goes down.
Mm-hmm.
But this coming up next week is that or this week, should I say? This is that episode before that episode. The
Yeah.
way the pace, to your point earlier, the way the pace of the season has been going,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be that last setup before we get into the shits with the last two.
For
I
sure.
think the way we end episode 6 is going to be a big deal. I think
Mm-hmm.
we're going to keep rolling for the last two episodes. Um, I've really been enjoying it. I can't believe we're already at episode 6 this
Crazy.
upcoming week.
Crazy.
The show's over, so that's all I got, Ray. I don't know if you got anything else.
I don't. I thank you all for listening. I'm excited to be on this journey with you all. Um, if you are having thoughts of self-harm or suicide ideation, I would admonish you to seek the help that you need. Even if even though I don't know you, you matter. You are a force in this world. I am praying with and for you. God bless y'all. Thank you for listening. We love you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Type 988 into your phone. 988. You can chat, so send a text, or you can call. In all seriousness, if you are having any kind of thoughts, like Rachel just mentioned, 988. Three simple numbers that made all kind of resources very accessible to you with the press of a button. So please utilize that, or anybody else, even if it's us. We don't know everybody out there, but
Yeah.
we always down for a talk, man. We really genuinely care about everybody and want everybody to be well in their right mental state as well. So, yeah, everybody just keep pushing. We appreciate y'all having these conversations with us, even the difficult ones and the real ones. Rap shit took us on a little twist. I wasn't expecting it, but it is something that's unfortunately way too common in today's age. And it's perfectly okay to reach out and talk to somebody about anything. Um, Rachel, we
Yeah,
got Culture Garden,
for sure.
Christmas. So everybody out there, Rachel and myself are hosts of another podcast called The Culture Garden. It is a movie film podcast. The month of December, we will be doing Christmas films. First one will be releasing this Thursday. Other than that, we will be back. We will be back next week with another episode of We Got Y'all, discussing rap shit season 2,
Yeah.
episode 6. Y'all be cool. How y'all be cool?
It's deeper than rap. Peace out. Bye, y'all.
Peace, man. We out.